Okay, Malcolm. So how has this past day been for you? Because I've noticed a lot of people on our own website and on Twitter saying they are done watching Survivor because you were eliminated. No more Survivor ever, they're saying.
So that's very sweet of them, and I appreciate the sentiment. But please keep watching the show. If you stop watching, they're not going to keep making it. And if they stop making it, I can never come back and win. So everybody needs to change their minds about that really quickly.
Although, what if the ratings go down next week because you're not on the show? That will convince CBS to bring you back again.
I'm not privy to the secrets of how these decisions are made, but I won't lie. There might be a little part of my heart that would be satisfied if that happened.
Well, yes, your elimination was quite memorable. People are very mad at what happened. They're mad at Brad. They're mad at Ty for using the idol, and mostly they're mad at JT, your old buddy. I want your theory for why JT told the other tribe that you guys were targeting Sierra.
Yeah, I mean, don't ask me to. I mean, JT and rational thought don't often collide in the same sentence. I mean, I can walk you through it, but there's some guesswork in here, and I'll try to tell you the parts I know are facts and the parts that I'm kind of assuming.
Okay.
And I think JT's plan was to tell the other tribe to vote for Sandra. So he goes over there, he tells Brad he's safe, and he tells just vote for Sandra. I think that's what he wanted to do. And then I don't know why he told him about Sierra. My dying day, I won't understand this one. It doesn't make any sense to me, and that's where obviously it all falls apart. Now, the thing you don't see on TV is JT freaked out about 2/3 of his tribal council, and you could see in his face and the way he's reacting. He didn't want us to, or he didn't think that they were going to vote Sandra. Like, he must have caught something somebody said, or somebody must have told him something. I don't know what it was. But about 2/3 of the way through, he realized the other tribe's not going to go along with this plan. And me and Sandra kind of been laughing about, like, they're going to vote for me or you as perceived threats in the game. So at this point, JT's trying to save me. And guys, we got to change the vote. Guys, we got to change the vote because of, he told Brad about Sierra. But we asked all of us, it was like, why do we have to change it? Why? And he would just shake his head and say, we have to change it, we have to change it. He wouldn't tell us that he gave away the Sierra information. I don't know why. I think he just was trying to kind of hope that everything would be fine and he wouldn't have to admit that he screwed up so bad. But he wouldn't tell us about that he told Brad about Sierra. And if he had, everything's different. But because he got so guilty and didn't want to fess up to what he'd done, me and you are talking today instead of after I'm a millionaire.
Right. Wow. Well, let's pretend there had been no twist, and let's say your group went to tribal council. So it's you, JT, and Sandra, Michaela, Aubrey, and Jeff. Who do you think would go home of those 6? Because I certainly don't think it would have been you.
No, absolutely not. This would have been actually very interesting. What's not been shown on TV is that Aubrey and Sandra butt heads a lot. Or not even butt heads, they get along, but they both want each other gone. So that dynamic's kind of been playing out under the surface of tribal relations for a while. On top of that, you got Varner, who knew that challenge in a huge way. We were way ahead, and he probably dropped the ball 2 or 3 times within inches of closing the deal. And so in the moments after that happened, me and JT were pretty pissed about that. And I was considering Varner. I wasn't that tight with Varner, so I was in that moment considering Varner. And then there's Michaela, who me and Michaela haven't really gotten along much for the game, or much in the game. I didn't want to take her very deep at all, so I might have pushed for Michaela. It would have been a very interesting situation. But I'll tell you what, surprisingly, JT probably would have been safe if that happened.
Interesting. It's always funny how whenever there's a tribe switch, there's always somebody who's on the bottom, and that person somehow manages to flip things around. Back to last night's tribal council, I think the other group should have targeted Sandra and not you. I think Sandra is the biggest threat in this game. She's probably going to win if she's not eliminated soon. What are your thoughts on Sandra, and if she can actually make it to the end?
My take is the minute, 5 minutes after meeting Sandra, you understand why she's won twice. She's charming, she's funny, and you get it. She's got the head for it. She's so good. And then, so in the context of that, and she could absolutely pull it off. I love Sandy. We were pretty close out there. In the context of that tribal council, though, I think what was going through, I think one factor that maybe swayed the other tribe's decision to kick me off was tribal challenges. It's still really early in the game, and this is the best I've ever been at challenges. I was killing it out there. I'm not usually that good. I don't know what was going on, but I was killing the challenges, and I think that might have played into their strategy to help, because the Mana tribe was just struggling. They've gotten that, 5 of them who are left have just been getting beaten up in every challenge we've done since the swap. So they're probably trying to equal the playing field and get rid of me. Getting rid of me gives them a better chance in the future.
Going back to right, we'll never know for sure. Going back to the first couple episodes, it looked like you and Caleb and Tony had a really strong 3-person alliance, and that you realized you could use each other for shields, kind of, because you were all so strong. Why did you agree to vote out Tony instead of, maybe somebody like Sandra?
Yeah, and I wasn't happy with that call, but Tony dug his own grave. I adore Tony, as you now know. I adore Tony, but he dug his own grave playing way too fast. And when we got back from losing that challenge, I kind of mentioned our relationship with Michaela. I was pushing for Michaela to go home for like 2 minutes because so quickly everyone was against Tony. There was never any question that Tony was going home the minute we got back from tribal council. And when the momentum's going so strong like that, you can only fight it so much. Like, I'm not going to go like on a tirade and push my agenda too hard when there's 9 people there and 7 of them are calling for Tony's head. It's one of those things. Sometimes you have to go with the flow.
Let's say you made it to the very end, the final 3. Who would be your dream final 3? Who would you want to go up against at the end?
I'll tell you what, Caleb was one of them. When Caleb went home, I was not pleased. I thought Caleb was going to be perfect to bring to the end. Big old meat shield, loyal, and probably not that convincing to a jury of like all-star players that like he should win the game. Aside from that, Caleb was the only one I really had tagged for somebody I wanted to bring to the end. Who else? Having seen I wasn't thinking this at the time, but having watched the past few episodes, Ty. I would take Ty to the end. Because he's not, after all of this, like, nobody's going to give him a vote. At least that's what it looks like so far. He might change things, and obviously, well, I'm not counting giving his idol away to get me out. That certainly boosts his resume a little bit. But the way Brad just played him the other day and kind of all over the place, I would take Ty with me.
And by the way, did you call Caleb a meat shield?
Meat shield is the term. It's Survivor parlance these days for taking big, strong guys to give yourself some camouflage.
I love that. Well, let's say you're not in the final 3. And let's pretend you were in the jury. Who would you root for, just personally? Who do you want to win this $1 million?
Personally, Aubrey's my girl. I love Aubrey. We were nerding out so hard. We love each other. Had so much fun with her while I was out there, and she's good at it too. I obviously wasn't out there when she made the finals and lost before, but Aubrey's my girl, and I'm absolutely rooting for her.
Great. Well, anything else you want to get off your chest or say to your very loyal fans here before we sign off?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Well, I really hope that we see you again in the future, and I'm so bummed about what happened last night. That was at least you went out on a crazy, memorable tribal council, right?
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. It took a twist in idol and a dumbass friend to get rid of me. That makes it a little easier to swallow.
All right, cool. Well, have a good day.
All right, thanks, you too.